2016 Masters. Where to start? So much to talk about in this video, guys. This is obviously my first video where I will be discussing the going-ons of the week of golf. So obviously the only tournament this week was the 2016 Masters, and won by England's Danny Willett. And there's so much to talk about in this tournament. Obviously, I'll skip ahead to the start of the the third round. Jordan Spieth started the day in the lead, which has become a recurring theme over the last couple of years. But he was playing some solid golf, was in front by I think 4, and obviously, as we all know, double bogeyed 17. He made bogey on 17, then doubled 18. That's what it was, and really just let a whole bunch of people back into the tournament. Which brings me to Sunday. A lot of people wanted to know how he would respond from that start, and he responded well. I mean, obviously he got off to a great start. He was like, I'm not 2016 Masters. He was doing all right, and obviously he made 4 birdies in a row from 6 to 9, which put him in front by 5. Now, I didn't catch the whole tournament because I was at the Jays game, or not the whole tournament, the whole final round. Sorry, because I was at the Jays game. After I basically caught the aftermath of what happened to Spieth. Willett had just finished 15 when I caught on to the tournament. So obviously Spieth birdied 2, he bogeyed 5, so he was even par through 5. Kaufman got off to a rough start, so did Bernhard Langer, and really, I mean, it was Spieth's tournament to win. He started the back 9 up by 5 shots on Danny Willett. He was up by 6. Dustin Johnson. And he was on Lee Westwood as well. He was up by quite a bit on Lee Westwood. So, I mean, did Spieth choke this tournament away? Yes. Did Danny Willett also shoot a very good final round and win? Yes. I say that because Danny Willett did something that's only been done twice since 1986, or since 1985. Sorry. Danny Willett shot a bogey-free final round to win the Masters, which has only been done twice in 30 years, by Phil Mickelson in 2010 and by Mike Weir in 2003, which as a Canadian makes me very happy to say. But Danny Willett shot a bogey-free 67, and when you do that on Sunday and you're in contention, that's pretty impressive. He shot a very good final round, and just in my opinion, he did what he had to do. He put pressure on Spieth, and Spieth kind of just didn't really do much with it. Because last year, Spieth started with a 4-shot lead, and nobody really put any pressure on him. Justin Rose birdied the first, if I remember correctly, last year. And that was really the only point where you were like, Justin Rose started last year birdie. And really attempted to put some pressure on Spieth, but never really kept going. And yes, Spieth did respond very, very well that day. But Danny Willett put pressure on Spieth. Started making some birdies there, obviously, on 13 and 14. And then obviously the shot he stuffed on 16, which I did catch because I had just gotten home from the Jays game. But, I mean, I didn't get to see the whole thing, so I really can't. I did watch pretty much all of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so it was tough to watch. Spieth is my guy, as you guys can tell. I do wear a lot of Under Armour golf apparel because of Spieth. He's probably my favorite golfer. But, one thing, people, I wouldn't really say, people kind of gave him the gears a little bit, you would say, about how he responded to the Butler Cabin ceremony. How he literally looked like he didn't want to be there. If you had just thrown away a tournament, and then you had not even 10 minutes after you'd thrown away the tournament, have to walk into that ceremony and put the green jacket on the guy you just choked the tournament away to, you probably would have acted the same way. That's a situation Tiger's never had to go through. But, Tiger has never done that, had to do that. Phil's never had to do that. But it was interesting to watch. I think Spieth really started to show, or start to give out a little bit more in his after round press conference with the media. He was open, he was honest, and handled that whole situation with a lot of class, which is pretty much what we've grown to expect from Jordan Spieth. He's one of the classiest guys on the tour, and he's only 22. Honestly, that final round, I expected more from Jason Day. I expected more this week from Rory. We obviously got the Rory Spieth final round, or final pairing, but unfortunately on Saturday, and Rory just didn't really play well on the weekend. But, it was, nonetheless, it was a fun tournament to watch. I love watching the Masters. It's one of my favorite tournaments to watch all year. And, congratulations to Danny Willett. You deserve it. You played a great final round, like I mentioned. Only two people since 1985, have shot a bogey-free final round and went on to win the Masters. So that's something you should be proud of. You played very well. Obviously, Spieth helped you, but in the end, as a chaser, your job is to put up a number and make people catch it. And he put up a number, and nobody could catch him. So, now moving forward for Spieth, how will he handle this? Well, I think he'll be all right. Obviously, what happened hurt, but I tweeted yesterday, and I'll show it at the bottom of the screen. But I tweeted yesterday that I feel like Spieth will do what Rory did. Rory in 2011 threw away the Masters. And actually, a lot of people are comparing what Rory did in 11 to what Spieth did this year, which I'm going to talk about in a second. I wasn't going to talk about the comparisons to that, but I'm going to anyway. Rory went on to win the next major, the 2011 U.S. Open at Congressional by 8 shots. Broke a U.S. Open record. Broke the U.S. Open scoring record that week. And has gone on to win 3 more majors since then. Wouldn't surprise me if Jordan does similar and wins at Oakmont this year as a bounce back. Or maybe even goes on and wins the Open Championship or the PGA this year. One of the more impressive things about Jordan Spieth, and he showed it this week, or in this final round, his bounce back is so good. This year, finishes bogey double on 17 and 18. Comes out right out of the blocks today, or yesterday, and Sunday. Shoots a front 9, 32, 4 under par on Sunday, which was incredible to open up a 5-shot lead. He bounces back so well. How many guys make a 7 on the 12th hole, bounce back and make 2 birdies in the next 3 holes? It was almost 3 birdies in 3 holes. Then stuffed a shot on 16. Not too many guys that can do that. A lot of guys would just fade away and probably make some more bogeys and throw in a double there too. A lot of guys would do that. He didn't let it. He let it. Obviously, it bothered him, but he still he still fought back, and I feel like he'll do the same. He'll contend at. I'm saying this right now. He'll contend at Oakmont this year in the U.S. Open. Now, the 2011 Masters, Rory started the day with a 4-shot lead. I feel like the difference between this one, the 2016 Masters, and the 2011 Masters is Rory started with a 4-shot lead. The only difference is the leaders had caught him by the time he'd gotten to the back 9. And we all know what happened at 10. We all know what happened at 13 with Rory that day. The difference is Spieth started with a 1-shot lead and built it, which I think will hurt more because he started so well. And then it all just went to hell. Rory didn't start well that day, which I guess you could technically say allowed some guys to get back in the tournament. Namely Charles Schwartzel, who birdied the first that day, I believe parred the second, and then holed out on the third. Which all of a sudden, boom, there goes your 4-shot lead down to 1. In the span of, well, Rory bogeyed the first that day, if I remember correctly. And all of a sudden, there goes Rory's lead. So, and then it all kind of just compounded after that, on the start of the back 9 for Rory, obviously, with what happened on 10, and then what happened on 13. So, I think that's the biggest difference in those 2 days. Rory started with the lead, and then, slowly just let it collapse. Jordan's was gone like that in the span of, half an hour? Just gone. Because he was playing well up until that point. And he said in his interview, he bogeyed 10 and 11, which, at the time wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't that big of a deal. But, Jordan has struggled on the 12th hole in the past. He dunked it in the water in 2014 when he was playing against Bubba. And he 3-putted it last year in the final round. I know he made birdie there yesterday. Or not yesterday, on Saturday in the final round, or in the third round. But, it was definitely, as a Spieth fan, tough to watch. Because, he, obviously, like I said, he's my guy. He's my favorite player right now. And, but in the end, I see him moving on. I see him winning a major this year. And then it wouldn't surprise me, like I said, if it's the U.S. Open. So, that is my recap of the 2016 Masters. And there's so many things that I wanted to talk about that I left out. One of them I'm going to touch on before I close out this video, Bernhard Langer. It's pretty incredible that a 58-year-old got himself in contention in the final round of the Masters. I wanted to kind of touch on him a little bit, but I didn't want to get too much into that whole story because I don't want these videos to be horrendously long. So, that's, like I said, that's my recap on the 2016 Masters. If you like this video, hit it with a like, comment down below some things that you would like me to discuss, or things that I could possibly change in future videos. So, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys next week.